Hey y'all. So I've been wanting to make a video for a while. It's been a few days. And I just had my family over. They just left. I'm so excited. I was so excited to see them. It was my son's baby shower. My firstborn son is having a baby. He's making me a grandma. Unless his blessings, keep your thoughts to yourself. But I'm really excited. And my sister, my mom, and one of my really good friends that I grew up with came out for his shower. Now, and of course, I expect my sister and my mom to come through. I expect my closest family to come through. But my friend, now he's my friend, but we haven't been in touch like that. We do some business. Long story short, that it was just kind of random. But we were on the phone talking about business, and I just mentioned that, oh yeah, my son's baby shower is this weekend. He was like, oh word? He was like, well, I could probably slide through for that. Now he lives 2.5 hours away. This is not my man. We've never had sex. It's not been like that. I haven't even seen him over 10 years. But I told him my son is having his shower, and he pulled up, no questions asked. I didn't even invite him. He invited himself. I'm saying all that to say that that's love. That's love. That's nothing but love. And I am so grateful to have experienced that. You know what I'm saying? Because that makes me, even though I am who I am, that makes me to want to be even more. You know what I mean? That did something for me. I know that did something for my son. He'll remember that. He's going to remember that my mom's homie pulled up to show me love for my firstborn child, and of course he brought a present and gave me some of his child's old things that I could use, like a crib or whatever. Like, that's love, yo. And I'm just so in awe right now. I'm just so in awe, because most times men want something from you. It's not just about them wanting to give something to you other than their dick, but they most of the times want something from you. And whether he wanted something from me or not, I don't think he did. The point is that the only guarantee was him pulling up to my son's shower. And he stayed here for 2 days with me and my family, and we had the best time. And I'm just like, that's so dope that I could not necessarily lose touch with people, but we haven't been in constant communication in a really long time, aside from our business relationship. And you came almost 3 hours to show love to me. I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful. With that being said, that was a choice that he made. He made that choice. When I told him what it was, he could have made the choice to say, oh, congratulations, that's beautiful, and kept it pushing. But he made the choice to say, well, yeah, I'm actually in the process of buying a car, so yeah, I'm going to come through. And he came through. He made that choice. That's super dope, because that leads me to my original topic I wanted to discuss, which is addiction and depression. Is it a disease or is it a choice? Long story short, it's a choice. And I'm going to tell you why it's a choice. I know there's different levels to it, and I'm not talking about that. I'm going to be real general here. Whatever your addiction is, it's a choice. Okay? Whether it's food, whether it's drugs, whether it's liquor, whether it's some weird shit like eating your husband's ashes. I saw this one, I guess like a documentary, and it was something about the weird shit people do. It was like a real TV show that they had back in the day, and they would just highlight the weird shit that people do, the weird addictions they had, shit like that. And this lady had an addiction with eating her cremated husband's ashes. And while they're interviewing her, she took a few bites, and then she started crying because she's like, I'm so concerned because it's almost gone, and I don't know what I'm gonna do once he's gone and I've consumed all of him. Listen, I'm not judging her. I'm just saying that's some weird shit. People are addicted to food. People are addicted to video games. There's all kinds of addictions. With that being said, it's still a choice. No matter how much you feel like your body needs it, no matter how much you have to go through withdrawal before actually kicking it, it's a choice. Because every recovered crackhead I know told me that they did it cold turkey. They said it was hell. Whatever drug you're on. I know a lot of, I won't say recovering addicts. I'm going to say recovered addicts, because they've been clean, 5, 10, 15, 20 years and plus. all of them say the same thing, that, the drug never gets in the way of you making a proper decision. It's just that your body becomes so adapted and addicted to the feeling that when you don't have that feeling anymore, it's like hell. And all you can think about is getting that feeling again. Well, that tells me that you just have to change your thought pattern. You just have to change your thought pattern. I could have a very addictive personality if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I love to smoke weed. I love to eat food. I love to have sex. Like, we could have addictive personalities if we wanted to, but at the same time, being a 36-year-old woman, a mother of 2 boys, an entrepreneur, like, I have to be able to do what's best for my productivity. So I'm not going to say that I'm not going to smoke weed. I'm just not going to spend my whole bag on weed, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to eat food, but I'm not going to eat all the food at one time. And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to have sex, but I'm not going to run around with any Tom, Dick, and Harry just to get a nut off. I have to be selective with my men. I have to be selective with my food. I want to make sure I'm getting healthy options. And then I have to be selective with how much time and money I spend on marijuana. You see what I'm saying? So it's all a choice. It's all a choice. And the more you focus on any one thing, that's going to magnify. Now we could go into spirituality real quick, or whatever you want to call it, chemistry, whatever you want to call it, whatever philosophy we want to use right now, we could use it. Now, the more you think and put energy into it, because thoughts are energy, the more energy you put into the thought, the more it's going to manifest into a want and a need. But if you just change your mind and you change your thoughts, then you'll be able to kind of let that go. Listen, I'm speaking from experience, first of all. So don't say it like, don't come at me like, oh, that's easy for you to say. No, it's not necessarily easy for me to say, but I could say it now that I've been through it and I'm still going through it. Like when my dad first passed away, I was fucked up. Let's just put it plain like that. I may have not shown it. The man that I was with at the time seen a lot of it. I was fucked up, man. I was fucked up in my head. I felt bad. I had a lot of regret. I just wish I did things different. I wish I would have, fought harder to get him in my care. A lot went on and I was fucked up. And I was not doing well mentally and emotionally. And then it spilled out into my physical life because I wasn't even to interact with people, with my kids, with my family, how I normally did, because I was just so heavy. I felt so heavy. And every day I would just put myself through torture, thinking about my dad, about what he went through while he was sick, about what he's going through while he was still here, like, about how hard his life was. Then I would play scenarios in my head. Well, oh, what if it happened this way? What if it happened that way? Then I would visualize him being alive and well still. Then it would depress me because he wasn't. Like, I went through it for a good maybe 2 years. And then, I've always had a really spiritual background, because and a really cultural background, because my parents poured that into us growing up. And then I have my own ideas of what spirituality is, and I read a lot, and I meditate, and I receive whatever information it is that I feel like I'm receiving from the universe. So gradually I just began to know that I was doing this to myself, and that if I just stopped thinking about the things that are making me upset, that it could become better. And, I'm not going to say like it happened overnight. I did have to train myself. It's a process. I had to train myself to replace the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. I had to train myself to be able to release that. And I'm not saying don't think about it. I'm not saying tuck it away in the back like it didn't happen. What I'm saying is acknowledge it and move on. It's like there's no point in you living in that pain. You already went through it. You already experienced it. My father went through what he went through in his life, and he already moved on. He's already passed away. Now, when I think of my father, rather than thinking of everything that didn't go right for him, I just give thanks for the fact that I had him for the period of time that I had him. And I could take the wisdom and the knowledge and the love and the lessons that I received from him, and I could pour it into my children and my friends and my family. and the men that I interact with. You know what I'm saying? So I no longer associate my father with defeat and depression and sadness. I associate my father with wisdom and love and kingship and kingdom, things like that. And like I said, it's a process. But now, to be really honest, I have to go out of my way to think a negative thought. Like before, they would just come. They would just come because all the time our thoughts are not our own, first of all. And energy is magnetic. Let's go there real quick. So if you're thinking negative thoughts and you're in a negative state of mind, if you're vibrating low, well, then you're going to attract low vibration people and situations. But if you think positively, you vibrate higher, and then you'll be able to attract those high vibratory people and situations. And so when you continue on this journey and you apply these skills, you'll really learn, you'll see. I mean, there's a magic behind it. You will see that everything you experience, you are directly responsible for. Now, there's a lot of things going on subconsciously, and that's why we have to be able to clear out that negative energy that is left within us, because our subconscious thoughts manifest quickly. Let's put it like that. They manifest quickly, and our conscious thoughts take a lot more work to manifest. You know what I mean? So we could get into that in another video. But my point is, addiction and depression is a choice. Now listen, I'm not going to say that everybody's situation is the same. Like, I'm also not going to compare the levels to it. Like, your trauma could be worse than my trauma. My trauma could be worse than your trauma. It's to each its own. Like, I haven't experienced some of the really bad things that I know other people have experienced. You know what I mean? Whether it's just like real hard physical abuse, vicious rape, like just, a horrific death in the family, losing a child. Like, I haven't experienced certain things. I am grateful for that, and I don't want to experience it. So I can't say how this person feels. You know what I mean? But what I can say is I have experienced my own trauma. I have experienced my own heartache. You know what I mean? And it's been heavy. It's been heavy. And maybe I'll detail that in other videos, but I've been through some shit and back, at 36. I had a fast life and I had a hard life because I wanted to be grown. But again, I know it hasn't been as bad as others, but does that take away from my pain and what I've been through? Does that make it any less valid just because it's not the same as yours? No. So my point is that with healing and with taking control of your mind, because that's what it really boils down to. Like, a lot of times we allow our minds to control us, and we don't realize that it's supposed to be the other way around, and we can make it be the other way around. You know what I mean? And once we get control of our mind and start thinking more positive thoughts consistently, that's when the magic will come. That's when you'll see that your life will get better. All these memes, all these little quotes that y'all be seeing, it's real. Like, it's real. I'm telling you, like, I come from a really dope background. My parents are super dope. My grandparents were super dope, super cultural. Like, they poured into us. They raised us. So even though I may come across as a little hood, I'm still very educated. I'm still very aware. You know what I mean? But, in my teenage years and my young adult years, I did hang around the hood, and, I dealt with hood niggas, for lack of a better word. And so that's my energy. I'm a mix. I'm like a dope ass hood type hippie chick. I don't know, whatever you want to describe me as. But I'm saying that to say, this ain't just for the Buddhist monks. This ain't just for the nuns and the priests. This ain't just for, you ain't got to sit in a lotus position chanting hamdulillah, hamdulillah, hum for 25 minutes and expect, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that. And that's fine too. I'm not coming at nobody. You ain't even got to do all that. All you have to do is really put your health and your happiness at the forefront. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to identify what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And if thinking about these thoughts don't feel good, well then stop thinking about these thoughts. If thinking about these thoughts feel good, then think about these thoughts. You know what I mean? And listen, innately, we all know what's right from wrong. No matter what you've been through, no matter if you was abused, you know it's not okay to go abuse somebody else. If you was raped, you know it's not okay to rape somebody else. If somebody laced your weed, you know it's not okay to lace somebody else's weed. Like, no matter what you go through, we still have that that God consciousness within us to know right from wrong. And it's easy to do wrong. It's super easy to do wrong. It's harder to do right. But there's so much more benefit in doing right. You know, there's so much more honor in doing right. You know, and that brings me to that brings me back to the addiction and the depression being a choice, because you already fought these battles. Stop repeating the battles. You already came out on top. Stop putting yourself back under. It doesn't make sense. If you want to kick a drug, kick the drug, because guess what? Listen, I smoke weed. I love to smoke weed. Weed is good for me. Weed is good for you. I know a lot of people don't like the head high it gives them. I do. I'm cool with it. I don't abuse it. I pay my bills. I take care of my kids. You feel me? I like to smoke a little marijuana. Marijuana is good for you. I don't do anything else. I do marijuana. Do I need it? Not necessarily, but I like it. It makes me cool. It makes me calm. It actually gives me a lot of creativity, aside from what I already possess, but it's part of my meditation. I like to smoke weed. With that being said, it's still a choice. I've been smoking weed since I was a teenager. I'm 36. It's still a choice. And for those who say, oh, weed is not addictive, it can be. Any drug could be addictive. Yeah, I'm sure other drugs, like the ones the government make, to get us stuck and messed up. Yeah, those drugs are a lot more addictive. I'm aware of that. Like crack cocaine, even popping pills. That's a lot more addictive than weed. I'm aware of that. But weed can be addictive. I choose to smoke weed because I enjoy it. I choose to buy weed, and I choose to roll it up, and I choose to smoke weed because I enjoy it. At any point in time, I could choose not to. Because see, it's a whole process you have to go through in order to fulfill your addiction. Okay? So if I want to buy weed, I have to first call my weed man, or I have to go to the dispensary, whichever one I choose to do, right? Then I have to get the roll up for it. That's a whole process. Mind you, I had to get the money, whether I have it on me, I have to go to the ATM. Maybe I don't got the money. I got to hustle it up. Like, that's a whole process. In order for me to even get this weed in my hand, it's a process I have to go through. Once I get the weed in my hand, I actually have to roll it up or pack it in my pipe or put it in my bong, do whatever I'm going to do to it. And I have to light it, and I have to inhale it, and I have to smoke it, and I have to repeat it in order to get high. That's a process. It's not like it's just going to magically appear in my hands and I'm going to be high. I'm not there yet. I'm not on that plane yet to do that. When I get there, I'll let you know how it is. But it's a process is my point. During any point in that process, I could have said, you know what? I'm going to save my little $30, $40. I'm not going to smoke. Hey, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to smoke anymore. I could do that if I wanted to. I've done it before. I just don't want to. I'm making the choice because that's what I want to do. And it's the same for any drug. No matter how addicted you are on a drug, in order for you to continue using that drug, you have to go through a process to get the drug. No matter what. Most of us are not being force-fed drugs. Now, there's those situations that they are. I'm not talking about that. I'm speaking very generally. Most people that are addicted to drugs, they do it to themselves. Nobody's shooting them up. Nobody's shoving it down their throat. They're doing it to themselves. You see what I'm saying? And that's their choice. At any time, they could make another choice. Just like depression. At any time, you could decide to stop living in those memories that are making you sad. That's what I call her my spiritual mother. That's what she said it to me. She said, what you call an addiction is just a memory of something you experienced prior. That's it. And the further away you get from these memories, the easier it would be to not crave them. So if you really wanted to stop whatever it is that you're addicted to, whether it's drugs or depression, some people are addicted to depression. You know what I mean? It's like if we let go of what broke us, it's like it doesn't make it real. Like living through that pain and holding on to it validates what you went through. Oh, I'm a survivor of this. I'm a survivor of that. Nigga, you're human and you're alive. Like, stop bringing that up. And I'm not saying it like that, but I'm saying it like that. Because at the end of the day, unless you're going to kill yourself, you have to move on. You have to go forward. Nothing stops. And then, I mean, we don't know what's over there killing ourselves. We don't know if it's a different experience if you die on your own or if you actually take your own life. We don't know these things. So I wouldn't be inclined to do that. Again, I'm not talking shit about anybody. I'm just saying, like, we are on this earth plane and we have to do the best that we could do. And so while you're here, you might as well try to live the best life that you can. Stop living and sitting and soaking in your pain, your regret, your downfalls. Stop. Because you're still alive. You're still able to move forward and to become better. You see what I'm saying? And that was my message for y'all today. And that's my message to myself, because it is a work in progress. I have my moments where I'll smell what I feel like is my dad's cologne, or I'll remember something, or I'll come across a picture and, I could go right back in that hole. But now I choose to pull myself out. And it doesn't mean I don't love him. It doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean that I'm going to forget him. It just means that I know I need to be strong for myself, for my children, for my family. And I deserve to be happy. I deserve to feel good. So I'm going to do the things that make me feel good. I'm going to do the things that make me happy, as long as it's not harming anyone and it's not harming myself. As long as I'm living righteously, then I am going to make sure Shani is good. Whatever I need to do that, as long as it's appropriate and proper, I am going to make sure that I have the best life that I can have from here on out, because I deserve it, and so do you. And I hope y'all was able to receive that message how I intended to give it. I love you. Peace.